Hello and welcome to Best of Three, an esports podcast by Organized Gaming. I'm Mike.
I'm Alex.
And today we have Thiago Nascimento, the founder of skillcore. Thiago, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Now, I want to let everybody know that we're doing this in part of our esports startup month, where we have 4 startups from the level 6 esports incubator through a 10-week mentorship program. These early stage startups are connected with industry professionals to develop their products and services. Skillcore is one of them. Skillcore is a payment platform for the esports industry. They facilitate easy payments between players, organizers, and then sponsors. Tell us a little bit about skillcore's background before we get into you specifically. Let's talk about why you feel that skillcore is needed.
It started when I was working as a product consultant for an esports league here in Brazil. First of all, Brazil. So then we started seeing difficult issues when related with leagues and players who won the tournament, starting accusing other leagues to for late payments or even no receiving prize payments, so like fraud. It's very common when we started looking into the real problem. It's very common, even when you look for amateur scenario, but when you look to the professional as well. So we started to think more about this problem and how we can solve this for the industry, because it's a pain for every player that they just terminate the dream to become a pro player when you're not receiving your deserved prize payment. So you are frustrating your dreams, right? So then we started to creating skillcore as a payment platform that secure that tournament will send this prize payment for players. So we're just facilitating all this environment for each side, for tournaments and players, and in a reliable environment.
So the way that I understand it, yes, absolutely. There is a major problem in esports right now when it comes to paying individuals for their prize winnings. So is this that like skillcore will confirm that a venue has the money as well as pays out the winners in a timely fashion?
Yeah. We actually have a concept of wallets inside our platform that every entry fee we will go to this prize pool. So the organizer have to finalize the tournament to receive their commission and send all the payouts. So they can't use this. We hold this. They can't use.
Oh, that's great.
The money to before they send the prize payments to the winners. And it's a very single process. They just need to choose the winner in a single click and send the prize payment, and that's all.
Wow, that's great.
I see. Can you tell us a little bit about your background? How did you get into all this?
Yeah, I'm a software engineer with almost 15 years of experience in software engineering.
Wow.
My expertise is web development. I was graduated in computer science in south of Brazil. It's a small city. It's the countryside of south of Brazil. So then I started. After graduation, I went to an MBA in tech entrepreneurship. And I started to working on startup environment. Yeah. Since 2008, I've been working and on startup environment, and sometimes as a founder, like right now, and sometimes like a developer or a product manager that I've been working more last 5 years. I've been working as a product manager.
Skillcore is not your first a startup that you founded then?
No. My first company was in 2010. It's called
2010.
Bloompa. It's a funny name, Bloompa. It's
Bloompa. Okay, what was that?
It was a social commerce integration platform. So we integrate social features. So to e-commerce platform. So as a social login, share with this to earn discount if you share this product, something like that. It was in 2010. And after that, I never stopped or creating or doing. It was an awesome experience to my background, and I feel that more I learned so much in that experience. That was now it makes totally difference because it's, I think that's most how the higher risk you take, the higher lessons you learn.
That makes sense. Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of risks that go into going into startups from 2008. That's an amazing, like, what, 12-year, I guess now, journey going into this.
He's a vet now. He's seasoned. He's seasoned.
I'm not so young.
Yeah. So at what point did you transition into esports? What did that look like?
Yeah, it was 4 years ago that some friends asked me to help how to monetize their platform. They had a PUBG platform, and I started helping them how we can create a business model to them in that platform, because it was very difficult. They are almost giving up of this endeavor, and I tried to help them more like a mentor. But when I see the PUBG market, so it was like mind blowing for me, because I was used to play other games, other game title like FIFA or Call of Duty or these kinds of play.
FIFA is obviously very big in Brazil.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has to play FIFA here. It's a common skill. So then I see the PUBG that I never heard about how big was PUBG even in Brazil. And I started looking, researching about and I see other game titles that it was huge here, and of course around the world. And after that, I get inside the FIFA league, where I was working as a product consultant and looking to the problems. And of course, this is where I will put my time, invest what I have more. That's my expertise and my abilities coding to create my vision, my mission, of course my the other co-founders' mission, to help and support the economy for esports.
So through your time as a project consultant, you looked and you saw the problems that existed within esports, and so that is kind of the basis on what you're making now.
Sorry.
So because you noticed those issues, the payment issues, that players weren't getting paid and players weren't receiving payment in a timely manner. Is that what motivated you to create skillcore?
Yeah, totally. When I see this critical thing on the table, I identified, and my friend, the other co-founders identified that would be a really good fit for a solution, because we started back in that time. I was reading a book about emerging markets, how emerging markets create some innovations to the first world, to rich countries. Because we have types of problems that is not so easy to see in rich countries. So like these payment issues, okay, we can, when you have like a company or a big company or a lot of money, maybe it can take to in the future we'll solve this. But here we see it was totally pain, because the players need to have even a lower price payment, like $100, but it will make a difference for them when if they need to buy a new mouse or keyboard or a device. So
especially if the problem is very rampant too, it's going to make you not want to join a tournament. Why would you join a tournament if you're probably not going to get the money? And that's an issue.
And I mean, to build off of that, you mentioned the difference between wealth and countries. That's absolutely true. Was also true in esports being such a global thing, is that yes, you have tournaments that are held by big companies, but you also have tournaments that are locally held and created by smaller organizations. And whether a rich or poor country, or rich or not rich country, like, you will still run into issues where there are payment problems, where people who are just, individuals are running into payment problems. And that's not great.
Yeah.
So that security is great. Like, hold it there and then make sure that payment goes out. And those funds can't be used for something else, and then they run out of money or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's easier when your league is a company, because you have to make all the things right, But when you are like a community, I'm being part of a community like Super Smash Bros. And I want to create a tournament, so I will receive all the money in my personal account. So who guarantee that I won't escape with this money? So we are just adding some reliable and security layer for all the guys, all the players who wants to play, and if they win, receive; if they not, okay, but they can play and compete in different environments and scenarios or game titles. This is our mission.
Absolutely. That's a good mission to have. With that, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to get a little bit more into skillcore. I want to know a little bit about where we're going with this. I want to know a little bit about the methodology behind it. We're going to get into all that after we come back from the break. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Best of Three in our conversation with Thiago Nascimento. Before the break, we were talking all about skillcore and how they're a payment provider, and they're working to facilitate the easy payments between players, organizers, and sponsors. I want to talk about why. I want to really delve into what skillcore is and the psychology behind it. Alex, go ahead.
It's such an interesting point is an interesting place to pinpoint like a pain point in esports, because there's so many other things that people can get distracted with. So I'm curious, this is such an interesting point to look at. Please tell us.
Why skillcore is created? Skillcore is created to boost the revenue streams for tournaments. So we trying to help players and users who wants to play or to pay an entry fee, and we by using different kind of revenue streams for tournament where tournaments can monetize their business. We see leagues and tournament as a business, so our idea is to provide a platform where they can receive payments as entry fees, subscriptions, donations, sponsorships, and other kinds of everything that can help the tournament getting a high level prize pool and easily and seamless and smooth users can enter and compete on that. That's why and what we are doing right now. So that's the idea behind our platform. We try to make like
you mentioned sponsors. How do sponsors and sort of other donations and stuff tie into sort of the thing? Does that add to prize pools, or how does that work?
Yeah, they actually invest on prize pool. As I said before, we hold the prize pool, so the sponsorship, the sponsors can have the guarantee that the money invest on the event will be used on the prize pool. So if they just want everything 100% on prize pool, they can invest like $1,000 on prize pool, and the organizers have to use this money on making the prize payments. So it's like a protection layer, a protection contract between the brand, the sponsor, and the league and tournament. So we have it's to protect both sides in this particular situation.
Yeah, safety measure for sponsors as well, if they want to make sure that the event they're sponsoring is legit and they're actually paying out their players. That's very good, very good.
And so speaking of legit, I'm looking on the site right now on skillcore.pro, and I'm seeing a lot of the different events that are on there currently. You've got lots of different games there. I'm seeing FIFA. I'm seeing TFT. Tell me about what it takes to become a game or an organization that is advertised through the Skillcore platform.
Yeah, actually, what we provide for them is the main thing why they come to us. Because they need like a payment provider to receive this payment, and they most of them when we talk about the amateur environment, they don't have a platform or site, so they need a website for them to organize all the things, they receive these participants, the attendees, and of course the price flow. So sometimes or like 50% of the time they reach us talking about to have a profile or a website to receive all the potential players for then their tournament. So that's the point right now. We have the platform for these kind of leagues in Brazil. We started in Brazil, and the next step is to internationalize our product. But we released it just 2 months ago, so we are really early.
Oh wow!
Really
brand new as well.
new. Yeah.
So you mentioned that tournament organizers in Brazil don't have a platform to sort of do this. I know there's a lot of other sort of tournament organizing websites out there on the internet. Is there a specific reason why those couldn't be used in Brazil? Namely, like regarding fees, did you find that the other websites out there aren't compatible with your currency, or?
Yeah, most of the players in the market focus on organization things. So they have the brackets, the results, and we are focusing just on payments. So when we like the big players in the market, almost everyone doesn't have receiving payments in reais, that is currency in Brazil, and they don't have this ability to send the payment to winners. So we are focusing on the pre. We say that we are focusing on pre-event and post-event. We are not focusing on during the event. So this is the mission of other players like a Battle5. We have a lot of doing a great work, and we are not going to this market. We are doing the payment provider as a payment provider for the esports industry.
Absolutely.
So to clarify what you said, if I'm correct in what I heard, even in international tournaments that are legitimate and they want to be able to pay the players, if you're from Brazil, are you saying that it's difficult to be able to receive that payment, even if they do want to pay it?
Yeah. Actually, every country, when we're receiving prize payment in different currencies, is not so easy. And that's one of the biggest thing we are trying to solve in our internationalization milestone that we are starting with the level 6 incubator. This is a huge problem. When we receive like a big prize payment in dollars, if you are a Brazilian, you will lose like 40% of this amount.
And you know what? I really like that too. Just from what I'm understanding here, there's one of the major problems is that a lot of tournaments will try and do it all. When you see some small to mid-sized tournaments making their events happen, they have the nope, you go back. You say that. Yeah, you're funny. There she is. Okay, now I'm back on track. Here we go. So, these tournaments, these small to mid-sized tournaments, they'll have their game down. They'll have the tournament organization part down. But what they don't have is the payment, is the before and after, like you're saying. It's difficult to collect payment. It's difficult to distribute payment. Alex, you have been a tournament organizer before too. I've been a tournament organizer before too. It's the part of the job that you don't really want to do is collect the payment and then distribute it afterwards. And a lot of major tournaments, they'll actually outsource that to get other people to do it for them. So they're not giving out their prize money on behalf of Valve and the International. They've hired a company to go and do this for them. So
wow.
This is, yeah, absolutely. And this is exactly what
that I did not know.
Skillcore's niche fits in. It knows very much what it is. It is the payment people who will be there before the tournament. Let the tournament organizers do their thing during the tournament. Let them run a totally awesome tournament for their people, and then let Skillcore handle it afterwards. They'll pay everybody off when they need to.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, perfect.
You wrote that?
Perfect. Yeah, our idea is exactly to leave the tournament organizer do what they love to do, organize the tournament. Don't work and handle all these boring things. Receiving payments, contracts, or sending payments, and what the hell? Who is this guy? What's the bank account to send? Now
Right.
we are improving the work around the work for the full process. So you work what you do the best, and we work what we are focusing on do the same.
Very nice. And so another thing that I'm noticing on the site is down at the bottom of every single one of the little squares or rectangles that show the game and the name of it. It shows the prize pool right at the bottom. Now,
it's very crowdfunding-esque.
Yes, exactly. It's showing where the prize pool is currently at. It shows the goal. It shows the where it's currently, how long it has to go via a little bar. What is the idea behind having the prize pool just right there for everybody to see as the first thing that they're looking at?
Yeah, it's the transparency. So our platform wants to make this funding process be transparent for players, so they know how is that to reach the goal, like $1,000. Okay, it's 500 right now, but I know that it will reach the goal, or okay, I will pay for that and I will wait if they reach or not. The users and organizers can decide when a tournament doesn't reach the goal. They can decide in the common sense if the tournament will be happen. So it avoids the problem when you let's go do a tournament with $1,000, but you receive like $100 as entry fees. So we don't have money to put on the table. So what will you do?
Right.
I don't know. I will escape. So you can.
Yeah.
You can. We can. You can make we can create the tournament, all the thing, but the possibility that you will not have the money to pay your players will like a 99%. So our role here in the esports ecosystem is to be transparent between the tournament and the player, so they can know and they can invest, or of course paying the entry fee to the tournament, and they can help the tournament to reach the goal. It's like a psychological trigger. When you see like a crowdfunding platform, you want to help them to reach the goal, right?
Right.
Most of the times it's not, I need this product, but okay, this product is awesome, but I want to help them to realize this.
It brings a community aspect into it as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a trigger. Some triggers that we got from crowdfunding industry to put it on esports industry to make it reliable for the stakeholders.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And that's really good for a growing brand and a growing company or a growing organization who really wants to rely on the public who will be a part of their tournament as well. Gets the viewers in, gets the viewers invested, gets the players invested. Crowdfunding, I think, is a really good way of growing just esports in general.
And something that I thought of when you mentioned the psychological aspect of it, and something that I think can also help bring in interest into the events. If you are able to add like I'm interested in this event, and that way, because in esports I find a lot of people will sign up on the very last day. And then before that, you don't know if there's going to be people signing up, if it's going to reach its goal, or, if you're 30 days out, you don't know what's going to happen. What do you think about adding something like I'm interested in this event, and then you can sort of see there's 300 people interested in this. It'll probably fill up later.
Actually, that would be awesome, because we already show these analytics for the organizer. but we don't show this as a stimulate the user to convert right now. So we have other triggers, but this interest number, it's I remember from booking.com, they have like 100 people are seeing this room. So you need to close the deal. You need to close the deal because it's like a FOMO, fear of missing out.
It's gonna be gone.
Absolutely. I mean, I can compare that to eBay as well. It shows very clearly how many people are interested in this item, and so it kind of creates that urgency for people to act quick.
Exactly.
Or I mean, it'll also just show what's trending, what's popular, and then it'll get more people on. So people are going to look at what is being viewed by the most people, and then they'll go and join that.
Yeah, it's something. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just bringing you. If people like what other people like, so
yes,
exactly.
It's a crowd movement. So where you go? A restaurant that has one person there, or a restaurant that has a big line waiting for being attended?
There you go. Exactly. Exactly. All right. And so with that, let's take another quick break. And then when we come back, I want to talk about the future of Skillcore. I want to talk about where we're going to take this and a bunch of other things as well. Don't miss it. We'll be back in just a little bit. Welcome back to Best of Three in our conversation with Thiago Nascimento. Thiago, where do you want to take Skillcore in the future? Where is Skillcore going?
Yeah, our next step, we are starting locally here in Brazil, but our next step is to go global. Our next country will be definitely Canada. Our product is already prepared to receive multiple currencies, but we are just waiting a few legal documents, something like that, to close some partnership with payment providers, so we can receive payment and send payment as a local payment. So you don't need to think about the currency conversion in the regular way that we need. Send to the bank or send and lose money with that. We will do everything for you when you receive a payment. It can be a price payment, or it can be other types of payments. So if you need to pay if you are a team, you need to pay your players. You can use Skillcore to send this payout very fast and simple, without losing these taxes, and it's instant payment, so you don't need to wait like 30 days as a bunch of payment providers do. So our future is around the world. We don't need to have boundaries in our product. So our product was developed to be international, and we are going to be international.
Was that always the idea, to have it be an international thing?
Yeah, because when I was researching about the problem of payment, of course we see a lot of big amounts of money late payments, often or no payment in dollars. So the biggest events pay in dollars, and the guys that even when receive, they lose a lot of money because they need to pay taxes, a lot of taxes, conversions, lawyer, accountant, just to receive the money that they deserve it to receive. So when we look for that, it's very a big delay. Like if you are Brazilian, and imagine that you won the international, so you receive $1 million. So you receive like 3/4 of that or less than that. So it's a big problem, and the compliance.
Well, in Dota too.
What?
Sorry, in Dota too. I know. Obviously, I'm a Dota player, so. But yeah, there's a huge list of just people who still haven't been paid from professional tournaments, from professional teams. They haven't received their cut. They haven't received any prize at all. It's an ongoing issue, not just in Brazil. So.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at teams specifically, like you're saying, sometimes it's not even on the organizer. Sometimes it's on the team that isn't paying out properly.
Exactly.
If the organizer, finishes their game and pays out the people who they've owed money to, sometimes their job is all done. They've paid their money out to the teams, and then it's the team's problem to pay it out to the individual players. And so from what I'm hearing with Skillcore, that kind of bridges that gap directly from the tournament to the teams and subsequently the players. It gets the money where it's supposed to go through partnership.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Our platform is to be the most seamless process of payments that you just need to think about your gameplay. So just that. So if you want, even if you have to pay the team, so the team will make the fast and instant payment ever possible in the esports industry.
Right, and so. That's worldwide. What's the esports landscape like in Brazil right now? I honestly I don't know very much about esports in Brazil. I'm curious to know.
Yeah, I think that you know about Counter-Strike.
Yes, MIBR. MIBR is one of the best Counter-Strike teams around. And they're from Brazil, right? A lot of great. Here. Oh, yeah, he's a legend.
He's a legend.
For sure.
But Counter-Strike is Brazilians are good in Counter-Strike, because back in the past, when I was 15, it was a fever. It was a storm here in Brazil. So in cyber cafes, you just you have to go to play Counter-Strike with your friend. It's a required after class. So you cool. You have to get out from school and join your team and play in the cyber cafe, because we in the past, in this time of moment, we didn't have good internet in our house here in Brazil. So you need to play in cyber cafe. So and at that time, to have friends, you have to play Counter-Strike. I think it was 1.5. So you have to play Counter-Strike. I'm not a FPS person, but I had to play to stay close with my friends, to hang out, because the hangout we have a situation here in Brazil that we call it a corujão. That's when you stayed in the cyber cafe over the night. So we started playing the day before and go after one day, like 24 hours playing. The family is totally, oh my God, my son is playing like Friday to Sunday. So Counter-Strike started there, and they are collecting the fruits after like 20 years, 15 years. Sure. Of course, fallen 15 years, 20 years. But right. it raised there. But we have a good scenario of mobile gaming here in Brazil.
Really?
Free Fire. I don't know if you know about this game. Garena Free Fire.
Garena Free Fire.
Oh, Garena. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's is I think a Chinese company that
yes,
but
definitely.
they are really big in the Southeast Asia, in Brazil and Latin America as well. And he's the last World Championship was here in Brazil, and a team from Brazil won the first place. Free Fire every mobile phone here in Brazil maybe maybe has Free Fire installed.
Passage, yeah.
It's fun. It's funny because a few months ago, before the quarantine, I went to a barber shop, and there is no customers there. So the barbers are waiting some customers, and what they are doing, they are playing Free Fire.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
All of them just sitting there playing Free Fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So mobile gaming is huge here because we have a huge audience, but for to have a gaming PC is not so cheap. So you need
for sure
have some income, some good income to have a gaming PC. And our big population, almost everyone has a mobile phone, and Free Fire you can play in every mobile phone. So this is the bigger audience. We in Brazil, this audience is very engaged. They are passionate to sports, even whatever sports they like to play.
Whatever's accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, and they are passionate. But sometimes some players like console, like playing in a PlayStation 4, is not so. They can't reach the huge population, the most part of Brazil. So mobile phones, they are there. They can play. They can use. They can be competitive. So Brazil is more like that, except the thing like FIFA. That's really common. Almost every PlayStation or Xbox need to have FIFA installed here. League of Legends, they are here have a big audience for League of Legends. They are not quite good to go in the first place in the World Championship, but here in Brazil they have a huge community for League of Legends. Call of Duty and Ubisoft, Rainbow Six is huge here. Ubisoft are investing really good here in Brazil. Yeah, I think that's the overall landscape is more about mobile game and some game titles that we can point.
Good to know. It's interesting. I didn't expect mobile gaming to be so big down in Brazil, but it's very understandable. It's an accessible console, really.
Brazil actually has some of the largest esports viewership in the world, I think, as well. Sorry, did you have some stats on that? You had mentioned before, I think.
Gaules, I don't know if you know, Gaules is a Counter-Strike streamer. They reached more than 250,000 viewers last week.
Wow.
And he streamed in Portuguese, so just Brazilian.
Portuguese only.
It's not in English, so just Brazilians.
So 250,000 presumably Portuguese-speaking people.
On
one stream.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
For Twitch and other stream platforms, we are a big market because of that. We have a huge audience. Even when you can't play, you can watch. So for stream platform, it makes sense to invest in Brazil. We have a lot of Chinese platforms investing in Brazil. Of course, we have the big four as well. The audience and the engagement of Brazilian players are the main KPI, you know, the indicator.
Right.
That's very interesting. Well, thank you for kind of getting into that. I enjoyed that. So last thing before we go, your experience with Level 6 Esports Incubator. Tell us a little bit about that. How's that been for you? What have you been doing with them?
That's it's going to be awesome. Because we are working so close with mentors. We had to pick two, but sometimes you need to have a conversation with others. But they are really supporting us, to helping with the growth of every company. I can't speak for myself, but they are working hard to, because as we start, we released our first version when we just get in the incubator. So we see the evolution inside the incubator. So when we just release until now, it's like 2 months, we see a lot of evolution progress. And not just on product side and what you can see, but in the business side and the strategy side as well. Of course, legal, other very segment department, they have someone that can help us with that. And mostly when you are a Brazilian company, you need someone that has more knowledge about the international market, like Canada and United States. So we are very happy to be part of this program, this cohort. It's been amazing for us.
That's great to hear.
Good to hear.
Yeah, really good to hear.
All right, and with that, we're going to end the podcast for today. Thiago, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Please let the people who are listening right now know where they can find Skillcore and where they can find you.
Hey guys, thank you. You can visit and know more about Skillcore on skillcore.pro, and you can search Skillcore on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. All the social media, all the social network. Just type Skillcore, you see that. But visit our site, know more about our service, that we will hear about Skillcore in the future, and we will have some wallet for you to receive your next payment.
There you go.
Coming to a country near you. I'm very excited.
Alex, where can people find you?
Oh man, you can find me on the podcast here every week.
Yeah. You got anything to plug this week?
I don't know. What should I plug? Let's plug our survey.
Please.
So, yeah, please, if you want to check out Organized Gaming's, let's call it Amuka Serves. So we are doing a survey for all of the Amuka companies and all of the sister companies. We want to know what you want to see from us, and you can win some great prizes like a Corsair chair. You could win one of those nifty bomber jackets that Mike has on. You could win a Switch Lite, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, go check out the survey and go do the survey and win some prizes.
Yeah, you can find all the links in the show notes, both for Skillcore and Amuka Serve. Then of course you can find me at StillJustMike anywhere you find your people. You can find Best of 3 wherever you find your podcasts, and also on our YouTube channel on Organized Gaming CO. I believe that's the YouTube channel name now, right? Organized Gaming CO. There you go. Perfect. And with that, again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.